Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Sigma Traits.
I think that there is an anti-dating culture at the moment.
Okay.
I think that men and women are being encouraged to be treated as adversaries, not as equals.
I think it's transactional today. I think it's easy today. Whatever is too easy to come, you devalue it. My era, you had to court. You had to have scripts. You had to build relationship. You had to follow up. We had MySpace. The last time I was single, there was MySpace. I DM'd my wife on MySpace. Eventually, we're in Palm Springs for the first time. She's single. I'm single. We go on a date. There's magic. She goes home. The next day, I take her. We go do stairs in Santa Monica. We go to church. We go to Earth Cafe in Santa Monica. Then we go to Borders. I buy her a book on our second date called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged. On our second date, she's like, "What's this?" I said, "I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife." I'm 28 at the time. I said, "I know exactly what I want. I've already done this exercise with 3 other girls. If you want to go through it, great. You need to answer the questions. Let's meet up when you're ready and let's go through it." Week later, 6 hours at her place, one by one, each question we go through. I said, "This is somebody I can date." And by the way, it's ugly because you got to talk about everything in a book. That's not it anymore.
Modern dating is a complete mess.
Damn. Shout outs to him.
Swiping turned people into disposable options, and everyone thinks there's always a better choice one click away. The second things require effort, people disappear because convenience matters more than commitment.
This is so true. Nowadays, we live in the modern age of convenience. People don't cook, don't even go grocery shopping anymore because they can just Uber Eats or, DoorDash shit to their door. When we were growing up, yeah, that shit wasn't happening. There was no delivery, maybe pizza. Pizza was probably the only thing that delivered, and then Chinese food. Shout outs to the Chinese food people that did delivery. You guys saved my life.
Do y'all ever think about how much harder it is to function in society as a single person than as a person part of a couple?
When you're a woman, yes. When you're a man, no.
Right, like a single person and a couple both only need a 1-bedroom apartment. But when you're splitting it between 2 people, it's way more affordable. The single person is paying twice as much as either of the individuals in the couple. And then the same thing goes for shit like internet, cable. It's not like the couple is getting more or less. It's the same amount.
Oh, now you want 50-50. All of a sudden. How the turns have tabled.
It's just, you have someone helping you pay for it. And then you take into consideration...
men have been using this argument since the dawn of equality. And women are finally realizing, yeah, it's actually a good deal.
Consideration the fact that married people get special tax breaks that none of the rest of us get. And then you especially take into consideration the fact that minimum wage used to be able to support an entire family of 4, and now it can't support a single person.
I don't need anyone sounds great until reality sends the bills. Rent, expenses, and responsibilities don't care about slogans. Independence is easy to celebrate until you're the one carrying the entire load.
Being single, I'd argue, is more expensive than being in a relationship. Guys always complain, "I spend so much money on my girlfriend." I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be at a bar ordering drinks.
I agree that being single is way more expensive than being in a relationship. Because I turn into a grub when I'm in a relationship. Yeah. I'm like, you chose this life. And then when I'm single, I'm like, I have to keep up with appearances.
See, this is again. So she becomes super more consumer centric because she's with a man and he's gonna fork over the bill. But when she's by herself, she's just a broke, dusty, musty, crusty like everybody else.
And look nice.
Well, you're always at parties.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
Always drinking, and you paid for the tickets. Now you got to impress people. Now you're drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're drunk, you don't make sound financial decisions.
No, you don't.
It's a full-time job, and it's extremely time-consuming, and it's not as easy as it may appear to some people.
When men are single, many use that time to improve themselves, building discipline, money, and stability. Meanwhile, some people turn independence into spending, complaining, and wondering why life feels harder. The issue isn't being single, it's how you handle it.
It is so expensive to be single and to pay for all of these expenses by yourself. For context, I do live in the Bay Area, so it is hella expensive to live here, but this is essentially how much I pay in a month by myself.
I pay way more than all of this. I think mines are almost doubled for me. But I have, my brother lives with me. I have my baker that lives with me. I have 2 studio rooms, so I kind of needed the space and stuff. And my brother pays rent, but my baker doesn't. So utilities, I charge the car. Even with solar, it's still like 500, 600 a month. The gym membership, damn, that's expensive. My gym membership's only like $20 a month at 24-hour fitness.
Close to $4,000 if I'm lucky. And again, it's not that I can't pay for these things, because obviously I'm out here living and thriving and a little hungry, but it's fine. However, it's usually
You don't look hungry, girl. Just saying.
the things that I don't account for on the monthly that like internally kills me. Like, for example, emergencies. Y'all, it's not only like costly, but the emotional expense to doing it by yourself.
People want the benefits of independence, but sometimes forget independence comes with a price tag.
It's an expensive
Nobody owes
price
you
tag.
comfort just because you chose to stand alone. Freedom comes with responsibility.
Is dating today, in your opinion, harder than it's ever been?
I was friends with my boyfriend before we started dating, and I feel like that's a more natural transition than like seeing features on your screen and trying to make a decision based on
Agreed.
like a list of things.
People just try and avoid things because I think they're scared to say things straight up.
One red flag and you're kind of like, oh, I could go find somewhere else. You don't need to have one person when you could have like 5.
Honestly, I don't know. I've had really bad luck. So everything. Like, I've been treated like shit.
I think a big part of it is because of social media.
People see a lot, they're exposed to a lot. They're always looking for better.
Everyone is always looking for the best thing, and they always think something else is around the corner, and you almost have too much access to too many people.
Dating apps turned everyone into a product being judged in seconds. People complain about the dating world while feeding the same system that created the problem. Everyone wants options, but nobody wants to be treated like one.
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And like, wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. My council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually.
True.
My energy bills, yeah, okay. I pay.
Again, women are barely mathing it now. Like, I guess your girl math back in the day didn't tell you that this was a better deal in some way.
Pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit, and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially, is really, really difficult to be a single person, and I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
Freedom isn't free. You wanted full control over your life, so own every part of it. The good, the bad, and the expensive.
The ugly.
Independence doesn't come with a refund policy.
Got another complaint about late-stage capitalism, specifically about being a single woman, which I do recognize that we can't romanticize the past here all the time because women couldn't even own their own credit card until the 70s. The fight for independence and autonomy and respect as a single woman in particular. So it's such a fucking uphill battle, and one of those things is the fact that those hidden costs, I guess I could say.
Hidden costs? So a cost of being an adult? You didn't know these costs were there? Oh, right, because women never grew up and had to be adults, right?
Is that I have never had a wedding shower, any sort of shower. Every single thing I've had to buy myself, and everything breaks.
Welcome to adulthood. Things break. Bills show up. And nobody is magically coming to save you. Everyone deals with these realities.
They do.
But some people only notice once they're forced to handle them alone.
She's broken, but you can't fix her. Third wave feminism, single parent household, social media, and woke Hollywood indoctrination have damaged her idea of reality.
True.
Modern feminism is teaching women to dislike anything masculine. Anything male becomes toxic. In the old days, women loved being called feminine. It was a compliment, and they appreciated gender differences. Nowadays, they're trying to destroy gender differences, and the ones they can't, they call toxic. Single mom's bitterness towards her baby daddy influences
Consider single mom's bitterness towards their own kids.
her and her daughter's opinion of all men. In the old days, only the really bad dads weren't invited to be a part of his kid's life.
True.
Nowadays, but even the good dads are having restricted access to their kids. So he's not even able to have a positive influence on his daughter's life.
A lot of modern conversations turned relationships into a shopping list of what someone should provide. But a partner isn't a personal assistant or a financial solution. If you want a team, you need to bring something to the table too.
I feel like nobody's talking about this, so I am going to. Why is it that being single is actually so expensive? I have signed up for every hobby you could think of. I have gone on yoga retreats. I have signed up for surfing. I have signed up for pottery, hot yoga, hot Pilates, sitting at coffee shops. I physically have been trying to pour into my cup and fill up my free time, but I didn't know how expensive that this was going to be.
Really? You just took more classes and more things that cost money because you're bored? Women. Like, the more bored they are, the more they consume.
And I physically and financially can just not anymore. I don't know what else to do. I can't believe that this is what life has come to.
Look, life isn't even hard. You just can't consume as much, and now it's, oh, my life is over. I don't know what to do. I can't live the same life anymore. It's over.
I'm learning that the hardest thing about being single is needing two incomes to survive in this economy. Living off one income is impossible. And so with that said, if anybody with two jobs is looking for a partner, let me know.
If someone says they want a partner, but really means someone to carry everything, that's not independence. That's entitlement. A relationship is supposed to be teamwork, not one person doing all the work while the other benefits.
It's just like the main lane, right? The main lane has a carry, but the carry almost always has a support with them, right? The carry needs to build up. He needs to slowly wrap his ass up and then, pick the right items and do his thing so he can dominate late game, so he can win the battle for everybody. But he can't do that without the support. Makes sense, doesn't it? Just using some MOBA logic.
We're aiming for the top 1%, but the top 1% of men ain't aiming for you. This is the reason why women are single. Like, they don't align their expectations. They look at this perfect picture, and then they go, that's what I want. And it's okay. Like, we all want something amazing.
We have a fantasy in mind.
Right. But then anything that doesn't fit that picture is ignored. Then you get too fucking old, and nobody wants your ass at all. Like, at all. At that point, by the time you lower your standard, you're like, hey, now it would take a fat guy that's doesn't have a college degree, makes $50,000 a year, just to not be alone.
And settle.
Yeah, and that fucking guy at that point still don't want you. So if you're aiming at the top 1%, then ask yourself, are you the top 1%? Or are you really in that category to be asking that?
Some people demand impossible standards while bringing very little themselves.
Like, what do most men want? Reciprocation, look decent, okay assets. You don't have to have bazungas or, a BBL size, but be nice.
They want perfection on their side of the table, but don't ask what they're contributing back.
So I'm 32 and single. I know, right, girl? Can you believe it? And with that, people ask me all the time how being an independent woman has impacted my dating life. And it's just enhanced what I already knew, which is that some men are intimidated by independent women. I can't tell you how many men just assume that I'm using men for money simply because I have a nice place. I've even been dumped for it. But these aren't men, they're boys. And I know one day my man is gonna love the fact that I can hold my own. And if any boy acts up, at least you can tell him to get the fuck out of your apartment.
Being independent is fine, but pretending independence means you're above consequences is
It's
where people
crazy.
lose the plot. Your choices create your reality. Nobody else is responsible for fixing it.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I?
Which is pennies. Like running the dishwasher and, washing pots and pans with the water. It's pennies.
Gonna do eat lasagna for 6 days when I could use Uber Eats and one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix,
Again, women said they can do bad all on their own. Congratulations. Men are letting you.
subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single. Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just collapse.
The funny part is acting shocked when a lifestyle you chose comes with costs. You wanted to play the game solo. Don't complain when you're the one holding all the responsibilities.
I definitely think there is a singles tax. It's much more expensive to be single than to be...
They literally just call it a tax. It's just living as an adult. There's no extra tax. It's just normal costs. When you're with a relationship, costs go down. Stop calling it an extra tax, you fuckers.
in a relationship.
If you're single and living alone, you don't get the economies of scale. So
that makes more sense, the economy of scale. Yes, I understand that one. Yes, like me having one donut shop, buying materials for one donut shop, it's actually more costly than if I had 5-6 donut shops because I can just buy everything in bulk and store everything much easier.
Instead of having a partner to split expenses with, you cover everything.
Being an adult is expensive. The difference is some people prepare for reality, while others act surprised that life requires effort. Complaining doesn't replace responsibility.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single, and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real. It's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is dun, dun, dun.
I'm a broke, dusty, musty, crusty.
Finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody.
You wanted the solo life.
Yep.
No compromises. No one else making decisions for you. That also means no one else carrying the weight when things get difficult.
Teaching kids about misogyny and incel culture is one thing. You know what I think they need to start teaching in schools? That, yes, you can have a partner and whatever, but if you ever choose to be alone, if you ever want to respect yourself and not just settle for bare minimum, if you want to release yourself from a toxic relationship, it will be very, very liberating, but very, very expensive. I have lived through the most liberating, amazing, culturing, wonderful experience the past, goodness me, what, 5 years? God. And that's not 5 years single. I've not been 5 years single, but 5 years not living with a
5 years in the streets.
Man. And it's been amazing, but it's been so expensive.
People love the word independence until the reality of it arrives. Freedom sounds great, but freedom without responsibility is just avoiding accountability.
Continue to attract people who don't ever want commitment. They just want to be casual.
You're not the only one, and it turns out there's a scientific reason why dating is harder and nobody wants to commit these days. This is a
I knew science would figure it out.
famous study on choice versus desire. It's known as the jam testing experiment. A first group of people were given 24 types of jams to test, and the other one only 6. To everyone's surprise, it turns out that the group that had the most options were 10 times less likely to purchase a product. And furthermore, the group that had less options were much more likely to be satisfied with their choice. Now this makes so much sense when it comes to dating now that we have all of these options. Before the internet, you maybe had only 6 different partners to choose between. Our monkey brains were never designed to have hundreds of potential matches to choose between. So we just freeze, we can't make a decision. People have dating FOMO,
Makes
they
sense.
constantly think that there's someone better out there that they're missing out on. All of this to say, you're not the only one, and if you think dating is harder these days, it's because it is.
Modern dating is broken because everyone thinks they have unlimited choices. Modern dating is a complete mess. Swiping turned people into disposable options, and everyone thinks there's always a better choice one click away.
Again, for most men, like 90% of men, us not being in a relationship does save us money. Just think about it. Going out, eating, buying gifts, just doing things is an extra cost on you, especially when you don't live together, right? And then when you do live together, unless she's going 50-50 like a lot of these women are talking about, which they're probably not. You know, a lot of these women are just desperate for money. That's why they're talking about it. They're not actually genuinely wanting a partnership and 50-50 everything. They're just broke, dusty, musty crusties that need their bills halved. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Catch you guys next time. Ciao.